How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 8 of the Creator Video Podcast. Today, I'm going to introduce you to the creator of the Millennial Finance YouTube channel. It's two brothers, Edley and Emir, but unfortunately today, only Edley can show up and probably do another episode with Emir in it. So welcome to the channel, Edley. So can you introduce the audience, like what your channel is about?
Yep, my name is Edley, and I'm one of the creators of the Millennial Finance with my brother Emir. And what the channel is about is a personal finance YouTube channel and blog. And we focus mainly on three pillars, which is saving money, investing, and making money. So we try to make personal finance education really simple so that all Malaysians can understand and have a better grasp on their finances.
The good news about you guys is that you guys are transitioning into full time. So we'll get into the details a little bit later. But right now, before we get into any of that, let's go straight into the good stuff. Like, how do you guys make money from the channel?
Right. When we started the channel, we didn't really plan this. We didn't see it as a money-making vehicle at first. All we wanted to do was just share our passion and just treat it like a personal development thing where we want to express ourselves and write down what's on our mind. But eventually, we did make quite a lot of money, and most of our money comes from YouTube ads revenue, affiliate marketing. So, for example, a company wants to promote its new service or new product, and we will talk about it, or we will give a review about it, and we will put a link on our channel, and anyone who signs up with the link, we get a commission from it. So it's kind of like Amazon affiliates or like Shopee affiliates and stuff like that. And the third way, one of the more minor ways we make money is to provide any products or services that we have, which is like consultation, speaking engagements, or in the future, if we plan to sell digital or physical products.
Great, great. So your biggest chunk there was what again?
YouTube ad revenue.
YouTube
YouTube ad revenue and affiliate links would be the biggest chunk.
All right. So very interesting, very inspiring because a lot of us want to be a content creator, but you guys are specifically on YouTube, right? Okay. So let's dive a little bit back into the history there. So what do you guys both study in college?
So my brother studied business, finance, and economics, while I studied law. And even though I studied law, I started digital marketing, which is knowing how to create content or knowing how to market content online ever since I was studying, because I was just interested in it and I was just trying to develop my skills and be more diverse so that I can make money in different ways, because I didn't want to wait 3 years to get a degree and then make money. I just wanted to make money whenever I can, which I think is a good point, which I wanted to bring up to most people, is that you don't need to wait or you don't need permission to start doing what you want, whether to start making money or stuff like that. You don't need to wait for a degree. You don't need to wait for your parents to say it's okay. If you want something, you can just, find a way to develop your skills or be in that position where you can do it. And yeah, you don't need permission, just do it.
Inspiring. So that brings me to another question. So as somebody new, you started this as a self-starter. How did you get your first client? As a digital marketing consultant, or however you made money before you started this channel, this journey of yours?
Yep. So when I did a digital marketing course, it took about 1 to 2 months. And in the course itself, the teacher was really good in that he didn't just teach us how to do digital marketing. He taught us how to get a job or how to get a client. And so my first client was A-levels tuition teacher, and I did Google ads for him. So just putting him on the first page of Google, getting more customers into and it's just him and his wife teaching in their house. I got him through Indeed.com, and he was just putting out a post out there looking for a digital marketer. And yeah,
But they're looking for a full-timer.
they're looking for like an entry-level digital marketer.
But you pitch as a consultant instead.
Yeah, because I was still a student and I didn't have any portfolio or anything. So all I did was, at first he wanted to hire someone as like an employee, like an intern. But then I showed him which is what I was taught in the course, which is to go through their website and then show them what I would actually do or how I would rank them on the first page. And then he was impressed, and then he just hired me.
So that's a cool history about how you got into digital marketing. But how did you get into this blogging YouTube thing, the Millennial Finance?
Yep. So when I was learning digital marketing, like you said earlier, a lot of it was paid ads. There was a huge section on organic too, but when I got my first few clients, all of them were paid ads. So I didn't really have the chance to practice my SEO or organic content until one day in 2020, when my brother Emir, on Chinese New Year, he said he wanted to start a blog just to share his investing ideas. And I thought this is a perfect opportunity for me to also practice my own marketing skills with organic content. So I talked to him and we came to an agreement where we would split 50-50. He would do the content and I would do the marketing side. So that's what we did. We started off with a blog first. He just wrote everything and I marketed it. I did up the website, did the SEO and stuff like that. And then eventually, I was also working with a lot of video marketing at the time and in my job. So I told him that if we wanted to try something new, it would be video. That would be really helpful. And at first, he wasn't very comfortable on video, so I just took his content and I was on the video and I made them into video. And then eventually, I helped him out and showed him like the best practices for video, how to be more comfortable on camera and stuff like that. And that's how our YouTube channel took off.
Wow, that's amazing. So there's a lot of people who do YouTube videos, but they're not really making it. But you guys seem to have some sort of successes. Right now, it's about what, 40,000
Yeah,
subscribers?
30K plus.
30K plus. So that's pretty impressive. Like that's 30K on YouTube. You can like go full time already, sort of, right? So why do you think your channel succeed? And let's say why some other people who is also doing YouTube, maybe they didn't really succeed. So like from your point of view, what's
Yeah,
this result?
that's an interesting one. So I would say a combination of factors. One of them was timing for sure. So for context, in 20, right before the pandemic hit, that's when we started our channel. And it just so happens that at the time, during that pandemic, mid to late 2021, investing became cool, right? So investing became a mainstream thing. A lot of people were talking about investing money and stuff like that. So we were just in the right place at the right time. That was a huge factor. The second thing I would say is that we filled the gap that was present. So the gap was in Malaysia, in a Malaysian context, talking about personal finance in English in a simple way. So before we started, the only other person who was talking about personal finance was Mr. Money TV. Zed Invest was there maybe, but he was more in real estate. But it was just us and Mr. Money TV. And also when we first started, we also met up with him and had a conversation. So I think there was a huge gap there for Malaysians, especially like young urban people who live in KL, in Selangor, who just finished uni, just starting to work on maybe the first 5 years of their work. And they're just trying to learn more about how to be better at money, at personal finance. So investing, keeping their money, saving their money, how to make more money. And yeah, so I think we filled that gap. And now there are lots more content creators on personal finance in Malaysia, which is great. One thing that inspired us was creators overseas. So like in the US, we would see the type of content they make. And you know how things are always like, it happens in the US first, and then it kind of happens here. So there's a lag. So we spotted that gap. And so we modeled US creators like Graham Stephan, all those guys, and we see what videos they did that popped off. And we just tried to model that, because if people are interested in listening about it there, provided it's not a very country specific thing, like it's only specific in the US, like all these other general topics that people would like to learn about, people our age, people in their 20s, in their 30s, we would just model that. And
Okay.
I
So
think that's
give
what
me an
made the
example
difference.
of that kind of video.
Well, the most standard one is like the best credit cards in Malaysia. Best credit cards in Malaysia. And during the pandemic, it was like work from home jobs. What are the best work from home jobs you can do? What are the ones that popped off? The ones that really popped off for us was really reviews of investing apps. So like Stashaway, in the beginning it was eToro.
Yeah.
So during this time, like I said in the beginning, where investing became cool and a lot of people were trying to get their feet in it, that's where we filled that gap and provided the content that people were looking for. And that's what I think made us big.
That's really good. Actually, when I started my YouTube, also my niche was personal finance. And the one that took me off was Wahid Invest. Yeah, that was the one that really got me 1,000 followers like really quick, like within a couple of weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks or something like that. It's crazy. But then after a while, personally for me, I kind of like don't want to be doing personal finance 100%. Personal finance is just one of the things I want to talk about, but not the entire thing, because I don't really like stock investing and that kind of stuff. But interesting. So on the other side of that coin, what you're saying is that you should model what works in the US. I think that that's a really good strategy. And then before it reaches to the audience here, why don't you be the first mover to create that gap, right? That makes a lot of sense. But let's say some other channels, maybe your competitors or other people you just noticed, they're trying to do the same thing, but there's just something about them that they just didn't want to grow.
Right.
What do you think about that? The best case is my channel. Look, I have like 600K total views, which is pretty okay, but there's only 6,008 subscribers, right? So but the people who watch some of my videos, they really like the video. It's very helpful and that kind of stuff, but they're not subscribing somehow. What do you think?
So from my perspective, right, as a marketer, I always ask myself, like, if I'm trying to get people to buy or if I'm trying to get people to subscribe, like, who would I subscribe to? If you observe your behavior and think about every time you subscribe to a channel, what made you subscribe? And you kind of translate that and develop your strategy according to that. So For example, for me, why I subscribe to channels is because I watch 2 to 3 or a couple of very consistent videos that I enjoy consistently. And I start to trust this person who's behind the camera. And then I'm like, oh yeah, this guy deserves a subscription. And I kind of feel like I want to stay in touch because I know that the future content would be beneficial to me. So maybe you were talking about first you were personal finance and then you're changing to other stuff. That could be a possible factor of why people don't expect something consistent from you in the future. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if I'm watching a personal finance channel and I really like all this knowledge that I'm getting, and then it keeps me wanting more of the same consistent thing in the future, right? For some people, maybe they fall or they are more interested in you as a personality. So there's a saying in marketing where it says, or in YouTube, that they watch you for your videos, but they stay because of you. They come to your videos because of your topic, but they stay or they subscribe because of your personality, right? Which kind of works for, if you see like most of the celebrities, it works that way. They come out as a football star, but then people stay as their fans because of their personality. So that's one thing I would say, like try to be more than just information transfer person, try to relate to them and try to make them feel like they understand you. Because a lot of people who watch my videos or in my brother's videos, when they're watching us and then they talk to us, some of them meet us in person, some of them meet us online. It's like they know us, right? It's like they know us like for like a few months already, or they're our friends. So they have this like very personal connection, and that's what makes them want to stay. And I also wanted to add, like, besides modeling the US creators, you can also just model any like local creators. What we did in the beginning with our YouTube channel was like finding videos on what videos should we make is we just search up certain topics that are a lot of people are searching for. So for example, I don't know, let's find one in Malaysia, like Stashaway or Why to Invest Malaysia Review. So we look at all the videos that are available and we look at the views and we say, can we do this review? But instead of 10 minutes, we do it in 7 minutes, right? This video is already 6 months old. If we make a video that is 1 month old, it's more people on YouTube like new things because they feel like it's updated. That was one of the strategies that helped us a lot. Go on YouTube, look for the videos that you potentially want to create, and then ask yourself whether you can do it shorter, better, and newer.
All right, very impressive. Thanks for the input. Also, that's very beneficial for my YouTube channel as well. I think one of the reasons for me is that I think the niche change is probably one of the things that is preventing me from growing a lot faster. But I think the other one is also I was spreading myself too thin. I was trying Twitter, I was trying this, I was trying TikTok. So it's kind of like I kind of have followers everywhere, but none of them really super big. You know what I'm saying? So the biggest right now for me is Twitter. I think that's my main marketing channel. If I want to promote anything, it really goes out to Twitter. It really helps a lot. Second would be YouTube. So I kind of want to make YouTube actually my first because I feel like you create content once and then the views just keeps coming in. And then people who found me on YouTube, typically they're, I think, a lot more high quality. So for example, I have this one video. So this digital content marketing is something new for me. And I have this stop using Linktree and build your own premium feature, just like the premium one that you have to pay. But if you have a WordPress website, I teach you how to, do the pro features. So it's only 1.7K views. So by that view standards, this is like a flop or it doesn't really do well. But the people specifically who's searching for this kind of stuff, they are sometimes business owners, right? They have the app and they're, oh, I don't want to pay for this. So they Google and then they found my video. And then from this one video, they really like how the quality of my production and how I explain. And then she DM'd me and then I got a brand sponsorship to promote her stuff, her company. So that's what I like about YouTube. You don't really have to have so much views. I mean, obviously it's nice to have a lot of views, but like, because it's so targeted to a specific search, like if you can target who that is, you'll still get really good leads. And also it's compounding with time. Unlike other social media, you post one video and then it's gone.
And also on YouTube, like I learned this from Graham Stephan, is that there are two kinds of videos. So one video would be an evergreen video, which is like that. So from now, next year, 2 years from now, people will still be searching for that. So like, for example, our best video, which is like eToro reviews, which has 200,000 views. So that's still ranking the top of our videos until now. So it's evergreen. People keep searching for it. People still keep watching it. That's one type of video. And then the other type of video is like a news or they call it like an urgent video. So something that just happened and you want to be the first one to cover it. So for example, Budget 2022 or Budget 2023 just came out. What's it about? So those videos, the aim is to get a lot of views instantly, quick, and then it dies out. Whereas the other videos, even though you have 1K now, you might have like 5K, 10K in the future because people will keep searching for it, which is like evergreen. Yeah.
All right. So going back, that you guys have found so much success with your YouTube thing. Now, both of you doing this full time, right? That's very impressive. So what was the tipping point that you decide to do this full time?
Well, I think for me, when I saw the potential of what YouTube could give, that gave me the idea of making it full time. So for context, I was working as a digital marketer in a Singapore agency, earning 7,000 ringgit a month. I worked there for about a year and a half. So they paid me the agreement was in ringgit. So they would just pay me in Singapore dollars through Wise, but then I would get 7,000 ringgit every month. And in 2021, what I earned from YouTube was the same amount I earned from my job. So from YouTube, I earned about like 80, 85 to 90K. And that was just my half. So the other half was my brother.
Sorry, this is per year or what?
Yeah, per year.
Ah, right.
So in the year, we earned about 150 to 200K. And so my half was
From
about
ads.
from ads and affiliates.
Okay, between ads and affiliate, which one is the bigger chunk?
I would say ads like 60%. Yeah. Affiliates like 40.
That's really high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like, and so I was making that. So it was kind of like the same as my salary. But the only difference was my job was kind of like maybe 5-6 hours a day, but YouTube was like 5-6 hours a week.
Right.
So that's when I saw like, hey, that's when it kind of clicks in you that the normal pattern you have of you have to work 9 to 5 on a salary job to make this kind of money, it kind of goes out the window. Because I guess all business owners experience this, when they have a lot of revenue coming in and they realize like money is just cash flow, right? Whatever, like it wants to flow and it wants to move. So that's when I realized that there's potential here. And that's when I considered going full time. But then I still stuck to digital marketing with another company because I was doing bigger stuff. And then I also got like a better salary or a better pay, which was more than twice of what I was making. Yeah. So.
And that one is a Malaysian company?
So the company is registered in New Zealand. The people who own it are from South Africa, and the clients are from the US, the UK, and Australia. So it's like.
And you get that job from?
I just found it in a Facebook group. Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. Okay. So that's cool. So that's how you went to do this full time, but you haven't yet. You're just about to.
Yeah. We had the idea that, this could easily replace a full-time income. But if we wanted to go in full time, we had to put a lot more effort into it rather than just 5 to 10 hours a week. And with that much effort, we can't just keep doing the same thing. We have to innovate and experiment with new things. So that is a whole nother ball game. And but we just saw the potential, and I guess we were just a bit slow to act on it because we were still doing our own thing, doing our own separate thing. But even if what I learned was that with content or with online content, you could easily, if you know what you're doing, you could make it full time and not work a full time hours. I know that sounds a bit like you're trying to get a lot of money with little work, but it's really possible. And I think most people, I guess if they have the knack or talent for it, that would be a good way to go instead of, trying to work a job that they don't necessarily like. It's entirely possible. And plus, if you have like a service, like if you're a real estate agent or if you're an insurance broker and you actually have another product to sell, that would and you have that audience, that would further increase your income by a lot more.
Right. Really interesting. Thanks for sharing the figures, by the way. Like, not everybody wants to share that, but that shows you the power of the internet, right? Right. So are you guys on TikTok or anything like that?
Yeah. So YouTube was our main channel. And now we're trying to and then we had Instagram, of course, and then we're trying to get more into Twitter now. And then we're trying to break into TikTok as well. So when we do go full time, those are the other channels that we will try to diversify in.
Wow, very good. Okay, so we're wrapping this up. So for somebody who's inspired by your journey, they want to try something new, like what's your advice for newbies?
My advice for newbies is just do it fast. Like I would say fail fast, or like try even if you think that you are not qualified or you're not able to do it. So if you go back to our videos, like if you scroll down all the way our YouTube channel, our first videos were like quite horrible, The background wasn't good. The audio was crackly. Like our second most viewed video, I think it's a statuary review. It was of me, and the audio was just like it was peaking all the way through the whole video. So it was like red and it's like crackling and all. But I still got a lot of views. And every time when I edit videos and I'm going through it and I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is so ridiculous. I look so cringe. I sound so cringe. It's no way it's gonna work. But when I put it online and people watch it and people love it, right? So my advice would be to step out of your own judgment of yourself, like stop being so harsh on yourself and stop seeing things as you want to see them because, you think it's bad. But as long as you put it out there and people benefit from it, which is what our goal was, we just want to put stuff out there so people can learn from us, can learn from our mistakes or from our lessons and hopefully help people. And yeah, it's just a video anyway. Like as long as if you're okay with putting your face out there on video, and if you're not so concerned about the whole privacy thing, then I would say even if you think you suck, you have to suck first to be good later. So yeah, just start, and over time you'll get better. So you have to, especially with these things, because we always taught in school that we have to learn theory, do the exam, and then we do the practical or we get good at it. But especially in YouTube or in content or in any business, I suppose, you got to get that hands-on experience. Yeah, you got to do the thing, and then that's how you get better. So you're going to suck first for sure, but that's how you get better.
Okay, one final thing, because I also teach content to people on Twitter. A lot of people say like, can I do content or create a channel without showing my face? So what's your take on that?
You definitely can. So if I didn't teach my brother how to go on video, and then he would probably never had his face on video. So with video, you can be a person or you can be an animator. If you don't know how to animate, you can hire an animator. I think all you need to be a content creator is you know how to write. You know how to write and you know how to express your ideas. Even if you don't know how to write, you can hire someone to write, but maybe that's like, it won't be so unique. Right? Being a content creator, you want unique content, unique and original content. So as long as you know how to write, yeah, you don't have to show your face. Like for me, I wouldn't want to show my face all the time. I would rather have a brand and have people in the video or animators doing animations. So for example, Mr. Money TV now, once he gets big, he gets other people to be in the videos instead of him. So ideally, that's what I would like. But yeah, I would say, yeah, you can definitely do it without your face in it.
But why did you put your face?
Because it's the most budget efficient and it's the fastest and the cheapest way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the people who are afraid to put their face, they're afraid for a reason, right? What do you think they're afraid?
I think they're afraid, like what their family thinks, or what people they know would think of them. Like, oh, like, why are you doing this? Or maybe they're not very confident about their speaking or how they look on camera. Or maybe they just a lot of people want to lay low. A lot of people want to have this idea that, they're untraceable or nobody knows them or because in the internet created a culture of anonymity where nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows what you look like, but your ideas are still out there. And I think there is value in that. And I think there's something special about that. But I would say most people don't want to put their face on this because either they don't want to be a public figure or they don't want to be out in the public. They want to keep their lives private, which I understand, or they're just shy. Yeah.
For me, I feel like future is personal branding. My opinion on that is to put your face. I recommend people to put your face. And the reason why is because I feel like whatever you're selling, you're teaching, you're selling something, right? The thing that you're selling is never unique, right? It's the same stuff that everybody else is selling. So why would people buy the same stuff from you or me? There's only two reasons. One is if I sell it cheaper than you, or two, if they like me. So if they like me, then you can name your price, whatever they'll buy. So that's my reasoning of why I put my face. So I guess people who feel like they feel ashamed if they put their face, maybe because you decide to sell something embarrassing, possible. So maybe if you don't want to embarrass yourself by branding or whatever, just pick something that you're proud to sell.
But I also do understand how there is a value in being like you owning a big brand that makes a lot of money,
sell it.
But nobody knows who you are.
Yeah.
Like you walk in the street and you're like, maybe you have 1 million, 10 million followers in Malaysia, but you walk in the street and nobody knows who you are. I think that there is some value in that. And do you know this channel called Improvement Pill? No. It's like this self-development channel where it's this guy from the US, just like a really young guy, and all he does is animations, but his animations are unique. He hires an animator that only works for him, or he started doing it first and it's unique, and he uses his own voice. So if you don't want to use your face, you can still use your voice. You can still use your art style, which makes it unique. But he never shows his face and nobody knows who he is, but he's like 10 million plus. So the face, not only does your face make you unique, but also your voice, your video style, and your art style that makes you unique as well.
Cool. All right. So anything else you want to share before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I think if you want to go into content, I think the first video is always the hardest, or the first piece of content is always the hardest. If you're scared, if you're nervous about video and stuff like that, the easiest way to start is Twitter. Or, like every video starts off as a script and every script starts off as a tweet, as a sentence or a sentence of an idea. So start small. Yeah, I would say, even though everybody says it, but like just go for it. And yeah, if you don't cringe at your old videos, that means you're not growing. Or if you don't cringe at your old content, that means you're not growing. So even the greatest content creators now, they look back in their old videos and see how much they could have done better. But that's just the process.
Okay, really good. Okay, well, there you go. This is Edley. Emil couldn't be here, so they're both from the Millennial Finance. I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you for coming over. And yeah, I'll see you guys in episode 9. See ya.